Good afternoon. The meeting of the Government Commission on approving the prime and backup crew members of the manned space vehicle flight Soyuz. Per decision of the Government Commission, the preparation of the transportation rocket launch complex has begun. Taking into account the reports on the technical condition of the International Space Station and the results of the preparation of the space vehicle and launch complex, on April 15, the Government Commission has made the decision to prepare the launch pad for taking the Soyuz vehicle and preparation for the start. Integrated testing of the space vehicle was performed at the launch pad yesterday. All activities were completed with the appropriate reliability and quality. Let's proceed with the agenda. Report of the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center. Yuri Valentinovich Lonchikov on the readiness of the crew members and on the members of the crew. Good afternoon, dear members of the Government Commission. In order to execute the plan of the Expedition 51-52, we trained the following crew members, prime crew members: Yurchikhin Fyodor Nikolaevich, commander of the space vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS 51 increment, Jack Fisher, flight engineer of Soyuz vehicle and flight engineer of the ISS backup crew. Ryazansky Sergei Nikolaevich, commander of the space vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS. Reznik Randall, flight engineer 1 of the space vehicle Soyuz and the ISS. The program of the crew training has been completed in full. All the crew members have passed their examinations. Per the conclusion of the Chief Medical Commission, the crew members have been considered fit to execute the space flight. During the meeting at the GCDC, we have reviewed the results of the preparation program and have given our conclusion. The increments of the long-duration increments 51, 52 are ready for flight on the Soyuz vehicle and the ISS. The program of the pre-launch preparation of the crew members has been completed in full. Per the results of the aforementioned statement, our recommendations are: Commander Fyodor Yurchikhin and Flight Engineer Jack Fisher. Backup crew Ryazansky Sergei, Commander, and Breznik Randall, Flight Engineer. Thank you. A report of the Technical Director of RSA Energia, Mr. Romanov. Yesterday at the launch pad, we have completed the preparation for the launch, the rocket launch pad, and the rocket launcher Soyuz and Soyuz launch vehicle and Soyuz space vehicle are ready for launch. Any questions? Any recommendations? Mr. Skrobagatov. The decision of the Government Commission, having received the reports on the readiness of the crew members for the flight and the readiness of the prime and backup crew, and on the readiness of the launch complex for the launch activities, the Government Commission has decided to approve the crew members of those Soyuz MS for Yurchikhin Fyodor Nikolaevich, Roscosmos, Commander Fisher Jack, Flight Engineer, NASA, Backup Crew, Vehicle Commander Ryazansky Sergei Nikolaevich, Roscosmos, Flight Engineer Breznik Randall, NASA. Second item, to continue preparation of the rocket launch complex for fueling and launch at the designated time. Any recommendations? The decision of the Government Commission has been approved. Roscosmos General Director is going to make a statement. Dear colleagues, congratulations on the approval of the prime and backup crew members by the Government Commission for increment 5152 to the International Space Station. Congratulations to the prime crew, commander of the vehicle, Roscosmos cosmonaut Fyodor Yurchikhin, and flight engineer, NASA astronaut Jack Fisher. Also, congratulations on the approval to the backup crew members, Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Ryazanskiy and Randall Bresnik, NASA astronaut. Everybody has undergone all the preparation, training, and everybody meets the requirements. Would like to also recommend and wish you successful completion of all your plans and successful docking to the ISS, and we will be looking forward to your return here on the ground as usual. Thank you, Deputy Head of the NASA Space Agency, Daniel Hartman.
Fyodor, Jack, congratulations on successfully completing all of your necessary training for the launch tomorrow and the mission ahead.
Добрый день, Федор и Джек. Поздравляю вас с успешным окончанием полного объема подготовки к завтрашнему запуску и последующей работы на МКС.
The ISS is in great shape and ready to receive you tomorrow.
МКС находится в восхитительной форме и готова к прибытию вашего экипажа.
A robust research program is on board, ready to be executed.
Полноценная научная программа идет полным ходом, новые эксперименты готовы к выполнению.
This will be further enhanced with the berthing of the Cygnus spacecraft on Saturday.
В этой связи дополнительные возможности появятся в субботу после стыковки грузового корабля «Сигнус».
And Jack, with that, some hardware for your first EVA, so much success on that.
Более того, на борту этого грузовика доставляется оборудование, необходимое для того, чтобы обеспечить всем необходимым выполнение первого вашего выхода, Джек, в чем мы вам желаем отдельно удачи и успехов.
The ISS is a very special place.
МКС — это уникальная платформа.
Take good care of it.
Берегите ее.
Enjoy your stay, pace yourselves, and best of luck.
Пусть ваша экспедиция будет успешной и интересной для вас.
Спасибо.
Слово для выступления предоставляется командиру.
The opportunity to speak is provided to the commander of the space vehicle Soyuz, Yurchikhin Fyodor. Dear Alexander Nikolaevich, dear members of the Government Commission, dear friends, thank you very much for your trust. We are ready. We're definitely excited and nervous, but everything will be fine. We're confident. And thank you very much to all the GCTC specialists, Yuri Valentinovich, and also head of the department, Mr. Yuri Malenchenko. Training was perfect. Thank you very much. An opportunity to speak is provided to the flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle MS-04, Jack Fisher. Good afternoon. The previous time I was here, I forgot to say thank you. These are complex words, but they're important. It is important to say thank you to everyone who gave us this great opportunity to fly to space. From thousands and thousands of people all over the world who are making a space flight and space exploration possible, and we are all one team. So I'd like to express our appreciation to all of you for the opportunity to be a part of this amazing team. We're ready, and thank you. Thank you. An opportunity to speak is provided to the commander of the backup crew, Sergei Ryazanskiy. Thank you very much. We are very grateful to all the specialists for the training, for their wonderful work. On our part, we would like to wish all the best to the prime crew. We'll continue working here on the ground. And in another 2 months, slightly more than 2 months, we'll be here meeting you again, I hope. An opportunity to speak is provided to the flight engineer of the backup crew, Randall Bresnik. We're amazed of the wonderful teamwork. Thank you. Dear Fyodor Nikolaevich and Jack, on behalf of the Government Commission, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on the opportunity to fly on Soyuz vehicle MS-04 to the International Space Station. Wishing you successful launch, successful ascent, and successful work on board, and looking forward to seeing you on the ground. Thank you. And following the standing tradition of at least my team, everybody, most people know our tradition. We made a poster of our crew. You will decide for yourselves. It says, from the crew of Soyuz MS-4. I assure you, this poster includes a lot of solutions, a lot of decisions made by Roscosmos and NASA and other space agencies concerning our crew. Igor Anatolyevich and Alexander College, please pass this along as a gift to those who solve this riddle.
Прошу вручить.
Could you please present it to the commission? I think we'll solve it in 6 months. I heard that you will solve it in 6 months. This is, well, our Sergey will try to do it sooner. Good afternoon. We're ready to agree to here at GCDC outpost at Baikonur. As you know, just recently, the meeting of the Government Commission took place here that approved the prime and backup crew of the ISS 51, 52 crew members, prime and backup. Let me present flight pilot, commander of the vehicle, Fyodor Yurchikhin.
Soyuz MS-4, commander, Roscosmos, Russia.
Борт-инженер 1 транспортного пилотируемого корабля «Союз МС-04» Джек Фишер, НАСА, США.
MS-4, flight engineer, Jack Fisher, NASA, the United States of America.
В составе дублирующего экипажа были утверждены командир транспортного пилотируемого корабля «Союз МС» Сергей Рязанский,
The hero of the Russian Federation, cosmonaut Sergei Ryazansky, Soyuz MS commander, Roscosmos, Russia.
Борт-инженер 1 «Союз МС» Рэндольф Брезник.
Soyuz MS flight engineer, Randolph Breznik, NASA, the United States of America.
Так, уважаемые космонавты, астронавты, мы вас от всей души, конечно же, поздравляем.
Dear cosmonauts and astronauts, we are congratulating you from the bottom of our heart, and we're ready to start our conference. Please introduce yourself. Good afternoon. Roscosmos Television Studio. My name is Alexander. Congratulations on completing the government commission. And the question to the prime crew, a philosophical question of sorts. We can read a lot on the news and mass media that our countries, representatives of which are behind this glass, that the relationships are not the best. But you're sitting here, joint crew, your friends. How do you maintain friendly atmosphere, and how does ISS manage to stay neutral in space? And what can we learn from this space on the ground, and what we can take as a useful component? Thank you very much.
Джек, включите, пожалуйста.
Could you please turn on the microphone?
Проверка.
Okay, com check.
Извините.
I apologize.
Сегодня я думал, что это может быть вопрос.
I was thinking that kind of question will come up today.
Язык не точно.
My Russian language is not
Я писал,
very accurate.
я читаю для вас.
I wrote something
Что видите?
in advance. I'm going to read it for you. What you can see is indeed true. We are friends. This friendship started with the very first cosmonaut, Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin.
Его фотографии.
Do you remember his photographs with a wide smile and with a dove? I think this is my favorite photograph in all of space exploration history due to what it represents. He opened the door to the skies, not just for the USSR. He opened it for the entire world. He's looking at us with this wide smile, and he's inviting us all to follow him. Our unofficial logo. Do I have it? Do I have it on hand? That's great.
Это чтит миссию
honors the Apollo-Soyuz mission and the handshake in space in 1975. That also has proven to the world how to work together during the time of the Cold War. And subsequently, the International Space Station is the best example of the international cooperation in history. Space is a dangerous place. And that's why it's complicated to perform space exploration. It is so complicated that nobody can do it on their own, alone. And this gives us an opportunity to work together as one team and achieve great things. As the very first space explorer who was only armed with his smile and a dove, we can serve as an example to the world, an example of how working together expands our opportunities beyond any boundaries. Thank you. I would like to add a few words because since November, when we received a similar question, my thoughts have not changed since then. I have been assured of my thoughts. I would compare the cosmonauts and astronauts sitting here behind the glass with the last heroes of the humankind. And I would like to refer to the mass media references to a Third World War, and the number of publications have increased. My family is here in this audience, and I don't want the war to happen. When everybody's saying neutral, we're neutral. That is incorrect. We're not neutral. We're active participants of the process that Jack was talking about. We want to turn the eyes of the people to the peaceful cooperation. And ISS is indeed a very good example of how people of various nationalities can work together. We support that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question.
Rob Nabius from NASA Television. Two questions for Jack. First, Jack, you were selected as an astronaut 8 years ago, served in a number of technical positions, mission control support positions. How does an astronaut psychologically go through the process of waiting for an assignment to fly in space from initial selection to interim assignments to the years of training that has led you to this point on the eve of launch?
So it was pretty hard, Rob, because I came from the military, so we were used to a very fast lifestyle of moving around all the time.
Это было довольно сложно, Роб, потому что я и моя семья, мы привыкли к довольно быстрому ритму жизни, мы переезжали с одного места на другое.
But once we got to NASA after the initial training, you do a few jobs, but then you sit and wait for a long time.
Но после того, как я пришел в НАСА и после прохождения основной космической подготовки, я занимал несколько должностей и просто ожидал, находился в ожидании своего полета.
I started working in the exploration branch on the new commercial vehicles and Orion, and really loved that work because I was able to make a difference.
И затем я начал работать по программе коммерческих пилотируемых полетов и Орион, и мне эта работа очень понравилась, поскольку я понял, что могу что-то изменить.
And then, of course, once assigned, it's nothing but excitement over the last 3 years getting ready for tomorrow.
И после назначения меня в экипаж, разумеется, на протяжении последних 3 лет, которые я готовился к своему старту завтра, я испытывал лишь восторг.
But the most important thing that I have felt in this process every day is humility, because every day you're reminded of how many people make this happen.
Но на самом деле на протяжении всего времени я чувствовал невообразимую радость от того, сколько людей по всему миру работают в этой программе на благо и на исследование космоса.
So Fyodor and I are the two very lucky people that get to sit upon a monument to international cooperation and then go to an even bigger one. So right now I'm excited and humbled.
You've been very gracious in sharing the story with the public of your family's personal trials and tribulations with some health issues. Those stories have been inspirational for all of us. How has all of that recommitted you to fulfilling your goals, particularly through this mission, as both a role model for your family and for others?
Absolutely, Rob. My mom had a little plaque growing up that said, "What you are is God's gift to you, and what you become is your gift to Him." And I have tried throughout my life to do whatever I can to take the experiences and blessings that I have and make a difference with those.
Когда я был ребенком, моя мама подарила мне табличку, на которой было написано: «То, что ты есть сейчас, это дар Божий, и то, кем ты станешь, это твой дар Ему». И моей целью всегда было вкладывать весь свой опыт, усилия и благословление моей жизни в то, чтобы сделать в мире какие-то изменения.
And both of my daughters have served as an inspiration for that. My little Bethany, that's tough. Faced cancer with strength and courage, and is an inspiration to everyone around her.
И обе мои дочери служат для меня невообразимым вдохновением. Моя маленькая дочь Беттани сейчас сражается с раком, очень храбро и очень с огромной силой, вдохновляя всех вокруг себя. У нее безумно доброе сердце.
And my other daughter, Soraya, 2 years ago, while visiting Russia, fell in love with the culture, fell in love with Russia.
И также моя вторая дочь 2 года назад посетила Россию. Ее зовут Сирая. Она просто влюбилась в нашу страну и также полюбила русскую культуру.
She is studying international business, Russian language, and Russian culture now at George Washington University.
Сейчас она учится, изучает международную экономику, русский язык и русскую культуру в университете Джорджа Вашингтона.
I am so proud that she understands that understanding each other is so important.
Я так горжусь ей, что она осознает важность понимания разных культур.
If we're ever going to break the bonds of gravity and become an interplanetary species, we need to work together. And we can't build a team if we don't respect and understand each other.
И по-настоящему преодолеть и разрушить границы гравитации и стать межпланетными существами нам необходимо работать вместе как одна команда. И одна команда просто невозможна без понимания и уважения друг друга.
Am I, excited and re-energized? Absolutely, Rob. And it's because of the 2 girls in the front row there.
Спасибо. Королев ТВ, пожалуйста, следующий вопрос.
Next question from Korolев TV. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Evgeny Unipova, Korolев TV. I have 2 questions, and they both refer to the history of the vehicle. Recently, Soyuz MS-04 has gained a name. I wanted to understand the background of how the name came up, and also the very pre-launch moment when you're already in the vehicle, and I understand you're experiencing vibration, you hear commands, you hear sounds. What do you feel, let's say, 2 hours immediately prior to launch? Thank you. Thank you for your question. Question number 1 refers to the name of the vehicle. Cosmonauts. Cosmonauts are travelers. It's a profession related to traveling around the Earth and traveling to the moon and back. And people are always dreaming of traveling to other stars. And in the 14th century, people travel with the Argonauts, and I always had that ship always in the back of my mind, and we always wanted to have a proper name for the vehicle. So thanks to Jack, he supported my idea. He liked the name of the vehicle, Argo. It came from the Argonauts, the seafaring explorers. And we are the explorers of the space explorers of space. So after the first fit check, the second fit check. So you see, we're a little bit shocked due to the all that excitement over the name of the vehicle, Argo. Soyuz A and the Argo. We started with the very first letter. Thank you. And what about the second question? Second question. Oh, the sounds. I apologize. My family are here. My wife, during the very first launch here at Baikonur, when the rocket was being taken to the launch pad, she wrote that it's alive. When we get inside and we sit down, we feel some small vibrations. The vehicle starts living its own life. And we understand that it's our vehicle. We're inside and we're together. It is an animate vehicle, and it's animated, and it deserves its own name. It's our home. It lives its own life. We know it will protect it. We know it serves its purpose, and we're helping it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next channel. Next question, RTD. Russia Today. Russia Today, your turn.
I'm from RT International. I have two questions for both Mr. Yurchikhin and Mr. Fisher. First is there will be an empty seat on the capsule. I want to ask you guys what exactly will be in that seat, and if it's up to you, what or who will you bring in that seat? My second question is about Kefir. I know there are plans to try to make Kefir in zero gravity during your stay on the ISS. I want to ask you what the purpose of that is, and do you think Kefir will be a popular dish amongst space crew from other nations? Thank you.
If we had the choice, we're carrying some cargo up to the station in that third seat. And I know I speak for Fyodor when I say if we could figure out how to fit Larissa and Elizabeth in that seat, that's who we'd take with us.
Definitely not as cargo.
Of course, not as a cargo.
As far as the experiment is concerned that deals with curdling or making kefir in space in zero gravity, it is a very interesting experiment. As a matter of fact, in order to understand that there are other cosmonauts and astronauts present here, no, I do need to. I'm going to pass this question to Sergei Ryazanskiy, who was present at the very beginning of this experiment. I'm going to do it on board. Well, I should say that we have a large number of experiments, probiotics experiments. It's one of the areas we're doing the experiments in. Several science research groups are working in that area. I hope it will be a very interesting science research result and very useful to the cosmonauts and astronauts when we can get fresh dairy on board. And the question is not only about making milk or kefir on board. It's one of the main experiments on board that targets long-duration space flights to distant planets because it helps save the up mass to create food during a long-duration space flight. You very very frequently talk about mutual understanding, that you set an example for the politicians. How is it possible to not argue, to not quarrel? How do you find mutual understanding? You have to spend 6 months together. If you disagree with each other, how do you calm each other? How do you reduce the tension? Do you have such approaches? You know, it is such a simple question, and the answer to this question is baffling. I don't understand. It's like a family. If you treat the earth as your home, all my exhibits show earth as our home. In a family, there are different components when both people can argue, but they do find a compromise solution that satisfies both sides. The same in a crew. If we understand that the vehicle is our home and the station is our home, then we're a family. We are trying to set an example for the politicians. The other question is whether they notice us at all. If they treated nations, countries as families, things would probably have been different. My answer is because we find some common ground, because we're just not only a crew, but a family. Jack, anything to add? No? I agree. Okay. The second question. I have another question. I always have a lot of questions. I have traveled to Baikonur many times, but it's the first time that I think that you will be leaving Earth for 6 months. So, and for your families, it's a long time. You always say that how you love your families, your children. What do you tell them to make sure they let you go?
To make them come and try to let them
You know, it's complicated because from my numerous flights, it was different each time. The most recent time, they heard the same time I did from mass media that I was assigned to a crew. And there was a long, several days, quiet days. My wife asked, how did we not know about it? And how does that happen? And I said that I didn't know myself, and I'm not sure if she believed me or not, but in our family, it is not an easy decision, but this time it was a complicated decision for my family, and I really appreciated that in the long run we have come to common ground. My numerous support team, in time the team expands. I don't think we're going to have another team member next time, but it is true. It is a very complicated question about how we solved it. Whichever way we solved it, our families are here to support us. That means we arrived at common understanding.
Я думаю, что последние 3 года.
I think the most recent, the previous 3 years, I have spent a lot of time in Russia. My wife is the family lead. She's beautiful. She's very strong.
Позвонили друг друга, и соединение.
If we call each other and the connection is.
As long as you keep a personal connection with your family, and there are many methods, много способов, to connect to them, either by telephone or video chat, and as long as you maintain that connection, you can make it through. And as a strong military wife, she has done this so many times before that there's not going to be a single problem.
Здравствуйте, Анна Самойленко, Космический центр.
Anna Samolenko, good afternoon. Yuzhny Center, question to Sergei Ryazanskiy. Background, we wanted to give you a disc with the movie. It is our project, our television department of the Space Center Yuzhny. It includes the interview by your father, with your father, who talked to us for 30 minutes when he came here previously to Baikonur. We hope that you will support this tradition. My question is, was it difficult for you to be a backup crew member for such a guru as your Chechin? And I remember during the first training, you were very interested in the space vehicle, that it was your vehicle. Thank you very much, first of all, for your gift. My father would definitely enjoy it. Of course, Fyodor Nikolaevich, and being his backup is very complicated because he sets very high standards. I hope that Randy and myself were a worthy backup crew, and a lot of people were very helpful and were very ready to teach us. It is very useful to be backup to such an experienced crew member. Fyodor and myself flew the previous time. He taught me a lot on board. He helps and trains during the preparation phase on the ground, and now we're trying to send off Fyodor in a good way, because when we're flying to the station, he'll be there welcoming us. So hoping for reciprocity. So we're trying to follow the lead of a more experienced crew member, our teammate. And how it is to wait for your own flight, we're already looking forward to it. You see, we're ready. Little time is remaining, and our staff is almost packed, and some of our staff is actually already on board of the station, so we'll be looking forward to seeing you here in 2 months. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question, please.
Thank you very much. Hello. Can I ask in English, of course? It's possible. Okay. I have a question for you two. When we speak about the things, the personal things, is there something that you can take with you? And if you could say it to me, it would be nice, or to us. The second thing is, it's the 5th time, I think, that you're going to make the takeoff. Is it still routine, or are you still excited? And the last question, Mr. Fisher, how is it for you? It's the first time. I mean, you have got a lot of years of training, I know, but now it's tomorrow is the day where it begins. So can you tell me, are you nervous or not?
Начну со второго полета.
I will start with my second flight. Every flight for it's a test of the space industry, a test of the relationship between all the space agencies, as a test of a...
Starting with the second question, each flight is a test flight. First of all, we test all the equipment, spacecraft. It's a test for each organizations who participate in this flight. Also, and all the cosmonauts. Also, it's a test for our relationships as well. So it's not a routine, of course.
Поэтому я не могу сказать, что у меня нет волнения, что это для меня обыденность. Нет, это не обыденность, это впереди интересный полет, он будет совершенно другим, чем предыдущие. Поэтому мне это интересно, и это не может быть рутиной.
I can't say that it's a routine. Of course, I feel the excitement, and of course, it will be a very interesting flight and very particular flight.
А вот сбор личных вещей во многом это действительно рутина уже.
And collection and taking all the personal items is really a routine already.
Потому что, процентов 60-70 из личных вещей, они собираются в полет тоже в 5-й раз.
Because most of the things, maybe 60 or 70% of all personal items we take in space, we take the same for the 5th time already.
Да, и у меня боевой экипаж, я благодарен своей семье и своей супруге. за коллекцию личных фотографий, то, что называется семейной фотографией, она всегда берет на себя вот этот труд. Я абсолютно спокоен, я знаю, она сделает то, что нужно и так, как надо.
And of course, I have a great support as my wife. So I am very grateful to her that she always make a collection of family photos. And I know for sure that she will make everything perfect and prepare it for my flight.
Поэтому я буду знать, кому, как, что подписать, что сделать, что взять, где сфотографировать. Это все уже достаточно просто.
That's why, while I'm on board the station, I will not for sure exactly what I should take and sign, which bring back, and what kind of pictures I should make to make them happy.
Спасибо, мои сладкие.
Thank you, my dear ladies.
Может быть, по-английски язык. As far as personal items, I will be taking personal photographs, just like Fyodor. Some small items from family and friends, old squadrons, those types of things. I think it's important for us to try and share the excitement and the amazement of spaceflight with as many people as we can.
Что касается моих личных вещей, которые я возьму с собой, то так же, как и Федор Николаевич, я возьму личные фотографии и также небольшие вещи моих друзей и семьи о том, чтобы потом поделиться всем тем восторгом и интересом, который я буду испытывать в космосе.
And as far as how I feel right now, it doesn't feel real. Tomorrow, не услышите. I might freak out a little bit when I see the rocket. Извините. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Большое спасибо, Екатерина Кадушкина, Россия 24.
Thank you, Ekaterina Kadushkina, Russia 24. Question: what talisman you're going to bring with you this time? What is going to be the zero-G indicator? There are a lot of traditions at Baikonur. The White Sun of the Desert is the movie, and the Earth in the window. And another thing, maybe you have your own traditions. Jack, it's your first flight, and maybe you taught him something, and maybe Jack, you think you have a mentor in Fyodor.
Да, спасибо.
Yes, thank you very much.
Так как запоминается сложно, отматывать.
It's hard to rewind to the first question. I'm going to start with the most recent one you asked. You see, Jack, I wasn't just his mentor. I was learning things from him as well. I am trying not to just teach a person. I'm trying to learn from a person. I should say that we're going to fly and use two tablets. We're going to keep audio procedures on the tablets, and Jack can teach a thing or two using the new electronic gadgets, and it's his great achievement that we're going to be using the tablets. That gadget is a word that we don't use so often. As far as zero gravity indicator, I was already talking about personal items. So my zero G indicator is going to be getting ready for fifth flight as an experienced crew member. As to other zero-G indicators, Jack already mentioned that his daughter is sick. We participated in various programs related to children and children's hospitals. And recently, last year, we visited Dmitry Rogachev Center. We're meeting with those people trying to participate in such programs. And there are two zero-G indicators who will be directly related to that. Will be related to the program. Unfortunately, we were selecting for too long which ones we're going to use such an indicator for our country so that we can keep it and give it to one of the cancer centers. I participated in one of the cartoon Roscosmos cartoon programs, and there were two characters. You were Nura and Nura, who ask questions and answer questions to the children. We explain to the young children what is space exploration about. So I think those cartoon characters were very well designed, and thanks to Roscosmos management, they supported our idea of using those two characters as zero-G indicators. And another indicator that's going to go to Houston, Jack will tell us about it himself. Overall, Fyodor explained all about the talismans. And as he said, my daughter has cancer. And the hospital that helped her is MD Anderson in Houston. And the logo, the emblem of the hospital is a sun with multicolored rays. It is important because the doctors and the specialists in the hospital helped save life of my daughter. It is very important for us. And as you asked about the mentor, yes, of course he is. And I said in Star City, Fyodor Nikolaevich is a professional with all caps. Yes, that is a secret. He is a good person. He is a good father. He is a good husband. He is a good crew member, and that's true. And he's a good cosmonaut. The most important thing, however, is he's my friend. And our poster, we have a saying, an expression, a saying from the movie of White Son of the Desert. The road is easier if you encounter a good companion. He's my companion, not just a mentor, but a friend. And as far as the traditions are concerned, we'll follow all the traditions. It's very important to know where we come from. We're going to do it all.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.
From RT in Spanish, I'm going to try to speak in English. The question is about internet. We now know that there is internet in the station, but it was not always like that. So the first question to Yarkin is if you can compare your first trip to this one in terms of communication. And to Fisher, I've seen you are very active in social media. And the question is if you are going to feel less lonely or closer to the Earth by the interaction with the user.
Thank you for your question. What is the internet on board of the ISS and what it was like when there was no internet on the ISS? It's an easy question. Well, imagine there is a cafe with Wi-Fi and there's no Wi-Fi. If there's that cafe without Wi-Fi, people are sitting at one table and they talk to each other. So if you have Wi-Fi, people are sitting at one table, but they're interacting with their gadgets. So on the one hand, internet brought to the station the ability to talk to the entire world. On the other hand, there are some gadgets, and people are interacting with their gadgets. So I'm thinking, who should I drink tea with?
To spread the gospel of spaceflight to as many people as I can. And I will continue to try to do that from orbit. And you are correct. I think that you do feel closer not just to your family, but to the broader world by interacting with people from all over the place. So absolutely, it will help feel closer and more connected to the world.
Я просто очень давно знаком, я представляю греческое телевидение.
I'm a long-time acquaintance. I represent Greek television. I'm trying to come up with a question that has not been asked. I'm going to ask a short question. Is there a specific item or action that you're going to do immediately after you come inside the ISS? From your experience, or do you just know ahead of time? Maybe I'm going to ask Jack because it's going to be his first flight. But thinking about myself, I go back to my second home. I'm going to look for the nearest phone to call my friends and family and tell them I'm fine. And a simple answer. I want to see the Earth through the window of my spaceship, as it goes in the Russian song. Thank you very much. Prime crew now. And a handshake, please. So, thank you very much. Thank you. Wishing the crew members all the best. And a reminder that the launch will be tomorrow.